Hello and welcome. It is the end of the 31st day of the month. It's the last day of the year. It's 23 hours, 27 minutes Eastern Time. So it's already past midnight in Europe. Oh, all the continents over there: Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, as well as Newfoundland as well. It's 1 o'clock in the morning there almost. And you know what? I could go on with every holiday on just why I think one way or another why it's wrong, and if I wanted to, I could talk about it. I want to quickly. Why is New Year's Day today, approximately a week and a half after a solstice? Who decided that today's date would be deemed the first of the year? What gives it this important significance to be such? I don't even know who invented this day or said, hey, this is the day to be the first of a year. And, well, all bets, trades of the like with one's own each risk reward. If you've been taking my risk on my hockey picks lately, congratulations. Hit it out of the ballpark again tonight. I probably will not be making maybe Chicago -1.5 tomorrow, but that would just be small value opinion play at most. There's not much value tomorrow, but what a beautiful, beautiful night. And let's take a look at Bitcoin. It's symmetrical because we got this uptrend and all that type of stuff. We had this big down move, which ended the year, of course, after this leg lower, which was originally established early on in 2018. The only real correctionary move from the $6,000 fall has been this current one, establishing a multiple hit resistance, now a multiple correctionary move in here. So yada yada yada. Yada yada is a whole Seinfeld thing. And to explain what yada yada means, well, I mean, when things just yada yada along, then that's what Bitcoin is doing. So there's no need to talk about it for a while, not for the rest of the year. I'll talk about it in 2019. But let's do a chart that's got an interesting setup. You know, there's people that will say technical analysis. I mean, that doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. And they can say whatever they want to say. And I can say whatever I want to say. And what I want to say is resistance was found here. It comes back down to the 18. Below the high, above the low. Pretty much where the 18 closes was. It has the next day a green candle, which is decently but barely above the previous day. So it got back all of its losses and a decent small fraction more. It's now been just sideways while doing so amongst the 18 average. So the span of days is a little over a week, or 8-9 or so since this particular high. This to me shows a very strong setup, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work, but it increases the probability odds that we would get above into this higher level of resistance, which would bring us to around 180 or so. And I'll show you why later, why that would be the next one. Getting above that, it could score well over the 200 figure, because when these things go, they can go. And that's the statement that it's trying to make, is that it's ready to do so. Stage 1, band flatten out. Stage 2, establish resistance. Stage 3, come back to support, which is the 18. Stage 4 is break resistance, and at that point, I deem that market bullish. Expect a leg higher, but expect either a very good leg higher more times than not, or multiple legs higher. Thus, what is the point of a bull market? So in some strategies, that's what one may be waiting for, just in case this thing does manage to top out, because that's what we can have in bear markets. You have your down move, whatever your lower high happens to be, and go lower. But because you've established this high, you've had enough room to digest the moves. You've had a good load of sellers come in once, but not since. You've gotten back to this point. So any price action above states that there were days where people had a chance to sell in these 130 range. They never did so. And that's why you oftentimes get amazing legs higher, because the supply of sellers are so diminished in the market. And then when the buyers come in full throttle, the price action does the same thing as well. 4-hour term time frame, you can just see that it's just done a lot of sideways moves. So it's just waiting for it to yada, 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 and do its thing. On the weekly, well, we got an 18 average of highs in at about 170 from 177. What's a small pierce above it? Like 185. And that's where I'd be expecting to go, is to the 18 average. And again, I would usually expect it to pierce a bit above it. It would match up with this previous level of support and congestion area, but that's about it. It's an okay level. Breaking out above that, well, you'd be expecting a decent size leg higher. You have a previous area up out towards 400. But even still, you can come up to like 230. There's a lot of room. I mean, that's a lot of area. If this thing gets past 200 and change convincingly, the possibilities are endless. Because not only are we talking about going to some of these previous areas where it came from and fill some Fibonacci retracement areas, but 500, 6, 7, and all those areas, its previous high was 1200. And this right now is that of a higher low. And if you're in the camp thinking Bitcoin's going to go up big and all the other ones will too, well, if Bitcoin breaks its 20,000 resistance and goes to 30, 40, 50, well, will this have already broken its resistance as well too? And if so, at the price of 1200, does this have realistic shot of going to a 5-figure score? Well, I'll let other people try to figure that out. But I just know that with high volatility, 10,000 is only about a 7x move from that level of resistance. Next up is a PivX, down over 20% from its highs. I actually like the fact that markets go up and back down. Because when this thing went up here before, many days ago, I was able to buy back in here a few times. And then I sold some more, and I've been getting buy orders filled. I just had another one filled. One filled about, one filled on Binance, one filled on Bittrex. Maybe it'll fill more. But that's what I like about the volatility, because I continuously expect markets to play through such. I'm still in accumulation mode. So every single time something like this happens, I'm going to get more than I buy, because if I'm selling, say here at 23 and I'm buying at 20, that's about a 15% differential. So if I sell 100, I can buy back 115 or whatever amount. It's 15% more. And the more times I do that, well, the better off it is for me. And whether this is a move that I think is real or not, well, the way I look at it is, if it goes down, then I'm going to buy more. And if it goes up, I'm going to sell more. I'm playing that if it does happen to go down, and this is with any coin, of course, that I'm holding, especially on any type of aggressive level or anything really at least double than min value, which this is, that this area could very easily have a situation where it finds a low, maybe comes back up here, and then when it's ready to go, it'll just do something like that. And I would not be surprised if that happens as well. And therefore, I'm not going to try to guess or predict when a big play is going to happen. Rather be ready for it when it actually does. And the same is true with Komodo. If this goes up, I'll sell. If it goes back down, I'll buy. And I've been buying a little bit more after I sold them a little bit higher recently. But as I look at this, when this is ready to go, what's it done before when it was ready to go? It had this move. Then it had this move. After it had this little fun day here, or fun week rather, then it had this move. Its April Fool's rally wasn't too big. And this hasn't been even that much any type of rallies it's had because it's just maintained itself within the sideways correction. But when it is ready to go, whether it happens from this area and does this, or whether it has another leg down and then does it later, then I'm going to be in position to do whatever the market is doing. And I realize my ultimate risk within this strategy is coins ultimately ending up pretty much going to zero or extreme levels lower, not coming back. And that is all part of when I say everything's within your own risk reward management. I've assumed that within so. And thus far, since I've been playing this game of crypto trading, and I haven't done much of this lately, is pulling it out for things like precious metals and other miscellaneous things along the way. But that's part of the strategy. And then trading your strategy at a spot. Okay, when is it a good time to turn cryptos into silver and gold? And for me, it's when Bitcoin prices are much higher compared to much lower. And right now I'm deeming crypto prices much lower. And wouldn't be surprised if significantly good rallies come in. Because we're going to look at 2018 and say, oh, it was a down year. Yeah, it was. Will we say 2019 will be a 2-year down year of 2018 and 19? Maybe, because I mean that could easily be in play where Bitcoin has a year going to 1,000 and or 1,500, and next thing you know, 2020 to 2023 is fantastic, and maybe this will be a very bullish year like 2017 was. So 2017, oh what a great year, and it ended at the start of 2018 and it was down for the entire of the year. Then in January or February or March it just got going so big in 2019. I don't know, but if it is, that'll be pretty cool for me. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in throughout the days, the weeks, the months, and the years, I guess, because a new year begins. But why are they not doing it today? Like, who decided that? Bye-bye.